Hello everyone, good morning and happy Thursday. My name is Elena Riley and I'm here this morning to bring you our top headlines to get you started with your day. So let's head into them with some breaking news that we brought to you last night. Let's go revisit that. All right, well, one person is hospitalized after they were struck by a vehicle in North Omaha. This happened last night. Omaha police responded to the intersection of 24th and Ames Avenue streets shortly before 8 p.m. for a reported injured pedestrian. And police said a 47-year-old man was hit by a vehicle. He was taken to the hospital. His injuries are believed to be non-life-threatening. Well, next up this morning, here we go, let's take that off. All right, next up this morning, the Iowa Attorney General's office said yesterday that officers were legally justified in the fatal shooting that killed 48-year-old Michael Broyles in August. This was about at 5:35 p.m. on August 27th. Iowa State Patrol Trooper Zach Jensen attempted a traffic stop near the 77-mile marker of Interstate 29 in Harrison County. And Broyles, the driver, he's of Battlefield, Missouri, he did not immediately pull over, a report states. And when Broyles later stopped, he exited his car, he pointed a firearm at Jensen. He drew his firearm, hid behind the vehicle, and then ordered Broyles to put down the weapon multiple times. And Broyles got back into his car, took off on I-29, is what an investigation found. And then at this time, other agencies responded to assist the trooper, and stopping under an overpass at the 16th Street exit in Council Bluffs, Broyles again got out of the vehicle and took cover behind a concrete pillar. We see that here. Officers tried to use pepper ball guns two separate times until they saw Broyles point the shotgun in their direction. They shot at him, Broyles shot back, and a standoff ensued shortly after 6:30 p.m. Well, Broyles was found unresponsive, and officers began performing life-saving measures immediately, according to a report, but Broyles later died at the hospital after this incident. The Pottawatomie County Attorney's Office also agrees they will not be having any charges here as well. Well, next up, Omaha police are investigating after two men arrived at the hospital early yesterday with gunshot wounds. Well, an OPD news release states that officers were called to the Nebraska Medical Center after the men, their ages 20 and 22, showed up at 2 a.m. yesterday with gunshot wounds. Well, their injuries were not life-threatening, according to a release. Investigators say the shooting reportedly happened at 28th and T Streets in South Omaha. And anyone with information about these shootings is encouraged to reach out to Omaha Crime Stoppers, which can be done anonymously. You can call 402-444-7867 or submit tips online at omahacrimestoppers.org or use the P3 Tips mobile app. All right, moving along here, First Alert 6 is getting answers from police after the cats of two Bellevue families were found dead. Well, BPD officials say they believe one of the three cats was likely killed by another animal, and they believe there is no indication of any human involvement in this death. Well, with the other two, police think they know what happened, but they are waiting on some confirmation from the Nebraska Humane Society. Well, Honeydew is one of the cats. It's a 1-year-old outdoor cat. Was found dead at the Humane Society by the owner when they went to go pick it up there. They got that bad news. And Obi is another cat, was found laying underneath a camper after disappearing from the same neighborhood. And both of these cats were wearing AirTag collars, is what we're told. And then next to Obi's body, there was a trash bag with another dead cat inside. So that makes 3 dead cats in the same instances. Well, a reminder for pet owners to not let their guard down when taking their animal outside. Of course, your loved pet do not want something like this to happen. But we're hoping for another update from police after they get back from the Humane Society. My next headline is that a 19-year-old man and a juvenile were arrested after an incident happened Monday at a park in Douglas County. So Mongton, he's 19. He was booked at the Douglas County Department of Corrections on charges of terroristic threats, use of a firearm to commit a felony, and felon in possession of a firearm following this incident. Well, at about 5 p.m. on Monday, deputies were called for an armed disturbance in Somerset Park near Wenninghoff Road and Hanover Street. And a man told authorities that while walking his dogs on the trail, he was approached by two Asian men, and one of them pulled a handgun from his waistband and pointed it at him, the man said. Both suspects took off, one on foot and the other left on a red mini bike. And after a short chase, deputies arrested the suspect on the bike, and the second suspect was found walking on Lake Cummingham Road. And DCSO says both Tin and the juvenile, who was taken to a youth center, are known members of the K-Fam gang here in Douglas County. Right, my last headline this morning is that the federal government officially shut down yesterday at midnight after Congress failed to reach an agreement to continue federal funding. And federal agencies stopped receiving money as the U.S. plunged into a government shutdown for the first time in nearly 7 years. Well, yesterday, frustrated Omahans gathered outside Nebraska Rep. Don Bacon's office to voice their concerns. You see some of them here in this video. Well, the group demanded the government reverse cuts to Medicaid and end the shutdown. Well, Congressman Bacon said there's a concern, I think legitimate concerns, that a lot of lower income and middle income people will see their Obamacare, and he said, their health care premiums increase significantly. Well, Bacon said there's a lot of Republicans that are concerned about this as well. He said that in part. Well, Bacon, Nebraska Representative Mike Flood, and Senator Pete Ricketts all said they can't be sure when this shutdown will come to an end. And workers at Offutt Air Force Base in Bellevue, we spoke with them. They say things are chaotic as about 2,300 civilian employees are getting furloughed. And active duty service members continue to carry out some missions, but there is a possibility of some missing paychecks for people. Right, we'll head here to our website at First Alert 6, where we can find all of these top headlines we just discussed. So this is 6 things you need to know. Of course, today is Thursday, October 2nd. I bring this web story to you at about 6 a.m. every morning, and then this live stream here at around 8 a.m. as well. All righty, thank you very much for joining me, and everyone have a great start to your Thursday.